शिक्षा परिषद तरफ
This call is now being recorded. Now taking notes.
समस्त को पुणी थे सभ्यतार सहित आज मासिक आरती कार्यक्रम को स्वागत करुछि। आज जिते भी आम स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद अच्छी सम्माननीय पदाधिकारी जातीय स्तर राज्य स्तर चित्तरंजन सर, तरुण सर, सीमांचल सर, प्रोफेसर चिंतामणि सर, विश्वेश्वर सर, समस्त को मु आज रही कार्यक्रम मो गाँ शिक्षा परिषद तरफ हार्दिक स्वागत जनाऊँगी एवं जिते जन भी आभासी कार्यक्रम रे ओडिशा तथा ओडिशा बाहर आज ये संयोग स्थापन करछंती सेमानकु भी मु हार्दिक स्वागत जनाऊँगी एवं कार्यक्रम टी को आरंभ करने पूर्व मु आह्वान करी हम विश्वश्री को से आज वैदिक मंत्र वेद मंत्र उच्चारण करेंगे। विश्वश्री तनया
आज्ञा धन्यवाद। ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद विश्वश्री तनया प्रियदर्शिनी अपन सुमधुर कंठरे अपन परिवेषण कले वेद मंत्र। मु वर्तमान आह्वान करी विश्वेश्वर सर को से आज विवेक वाणी स्वामी विवेकानंद वाणी पठन करी। विश्वेश्वर सर
समस्त को नमस्कार। आज विवेक वाणी धर्म आदौ बुद्धिर कसरत नुहे, धर्म अपरोक्ष अनुभूति। जदि ईश्वर को चिंता कर तेबे तुम्हें नितांत मूर्ख। जड़े अज्ञ साधक प्रार्थना और भक्ति द्वारा दार्शनिक मानक अतिक्रम करें। ईश्वर को जानिया कौन से दर्शन शास्त्र प्रयोजन हो। धर्म प्रत्यक्ष अभिज्ञता। स्वामी विवेकानंद। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद विश्वेश्वर सर अपन महत वाणी पठन पाई। मु वर्तमान अनुरोध करी आम गहन अच्छी आम बलांगीर जोन सचिव सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर तरुण कुमार प्रधान महाशय से होचंती भूतपूर्व अध्यक्ष खड़ियाल स्वयं शासित महाविद्यालय एवं वर्तमान आम जड़े सक्रिय कर्मी। मो सर को अनुरोध करी सी आज आम जो मुख्य कार्यक्रम आज मुख्य आकर्षण अच्छा प्रोफेसर भोजेन्द्रनाथ पंडा से सार विषय रे किछिटा हमको अवगत करेबे। श्री प्रधान सर।
समस्त को नमस्कार। स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद मो गाँ शिक्षा परिषद मासिक आलोचना चक्र को समस्त को सुस्वागत आ नमस्कार जनाऊँगी। आज मो गाँ शिक्षा परिषद संयोजक अच्छा माननीय डॉक्टर पद्मलोचन वर्मा सर, रिटायर्ड प्रिंसिपल, कन्वेनर डिस्कोर्स विंग, मो गाँ एजुकेशन काउंसिल, स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद, आज आमर जे मुख्य वक्ता अछंती माननीय प्रोफेसर भुजेंद्रनाथ पंडा महोदय, प्रोफेसर ऑफ एजुकेशन, फॉर्मर हेड एंड डीन रीजनल इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ एजुकेशन भुवनेश्वर। आम गहन रे अछंती आमर स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेक्रेटरी प्रोफेसर चित्तरंजन नायक महोदय। आम गहन रे अछंती माननीय जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद श्री श्रीमान श्रीमांचल मिश्र महोदय, प्रोफेसर चंद्रकार महोदय, विभूति भूषण बीसी महोदय तथा अन्य समस्त स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद जिते भी मेंबर्स अछंती समस्त को मो प्रणाम जनाऊँगी आ सुस्वागत करुच्ची आज आलोचना चक्र को। आम आज जे मुख्य वक्ता अछंती प्रोफेसर भुजेंद्रनाथ पंडा महोदय। तांको विषय रे किछि कहबा आगरु मो कहबा चाहे जे आज जो टॉपिक अछि एनईपी 2020 ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव रिफॉर्म्स इन स्कूल एंड हायर एजुकेशन। सेथिरे आमे जदि आमे देखिबा जे एनईपी 2020 it has the potential to transfer India's education system. However, its success depends on adequate funding, teaching training, strong infrastructure, effective governance, cooperation among governments, educational institutions, teachers, parents, and the community at large. आमे सबो डिटेल्स तांको हमर जे वक्ता अछंती प्रोफेसर भुजेंद्रनाथ पंडा को ठारू आज सुनिबा। ये जो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 अछि से अनेक गुडे चैलेंज भी अछि तांको से विषय रे सुनिबा। प्रथमे आमे समस्ते प्रोफेसर भुजेंद्रनाथ पंडा महोदय को विषय रे आमे जानिबा। तांकर होम एड्रेस जदि देखिबा सेटा चंद्रशेखरपुर भुवनेश्वर कनक दुर्गा नगर किट कैंपस पाखरे अछि। ते हमर जनरल क्वालिफिकेशन तांको जदि देखिबा से एमए एमफिल पीएचडी करिके तापरे तांकर हायर स्टडी अछि। एरियाज ऑफ स्पेशलाइजेशन तांकर जदि देखिबा हमें टीचर एजुकेशन, रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी, असेसमेंट एंड प्रोग्राम इवैल्यूएशन, ट्राइबल एजुकेशन, साइकोलॉजी ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड पेडागोजी ऑफ सोशल साइंस एगुडा को तांकर स्पेशलाइजेशन। टीचिंग एक्सपीरियंस 38 इयर्स 38 वर्ष दीर्घ से तांकर टीचिंग एक्सपीरियंस अछि। से उत्कल यूनिवर्सिटी, अरुणाचल यूनिवर्सिटी, कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी और रीजनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एजुकेशन एनसीईआरटी भुवनेश्वर रे शिक्षादान करिसंती एंड एडजंक्ट प्रोफेसर हिसाब रे आईआईटी भुवनेश्वर रे मध्ये अछंती। तांकर टीचिंग एक्टिविटीज आमे देखिबा से पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स मान को एमफिल, मास्टर डिग्री, एमए, एमईडी, बीएड आ यूजी लेवल रे छात्र छात्री को से पढ़ाइचंती। तांकर जदि पेपर पब्लिकेशन विषय रे देखिबा more than 130 papers in national and international journals और कॉन्फ्रेंस प्रोसीडिंग्स रे तांकर पब्लिकेशन हेई सारिची। पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन देखबा बेले 250 पेपर्स, more than 250 papers presented in national and international seminars and conferences। जने कीनोट स्पीकर कि इनवाइटेड टॉक और चीफ गेस्ट हिसाब रे से 330 कॉन्फ्रेंस और सेमिनार्स और एकेडमिक फोरम्स रे से रिप्रेजेंट करिसंती। से गाइड हिसाब रे जने रिसर्च गाइड हिसाब रे 47 स्टूडेंट्स ऑलरेडी पीएचडी पाई सारी चंती। 18 एमफिल स्टूडेंट्स तांग अंडर रे पास करि जाई चंती और 68 एमएड स्टूडेंट्स तांग अंडर रे पास करि चंती और पीएचडी डिग्री धरि करी अनेक भी जाई सारी चंती। मोर देन 47 ऑलरेडी अवार्ड हेई सारी चंती पीएचडी डिग्री। रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट जदि हम देखिबा 25 मेजर एंड माइनर प्रोजेक्ट से कंप्लीट करि साइचंती। जो गुडा को कि फाइनेंस हेइथिला बाय एनसीईआरटी, यूजीसी, एमएचआरडी और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट। तांकर 7टी बुक ऑलरेडी पब्लिकेशन हेई सारिची। चीफ एडिटर्स हिसाब रे दुईटा जर्नल्स रे इंपोर्टेंट जर्नल्स रे से चीफ एडिटर्स अछंती। मेंबर एडिटोरियल कमिटी हिसाब रे 8टा जर्नल्स रे से अछंती मेंबर्स। रिसोर्स पर्सन आउ बोर्ड ऑफ एग्जामिनर्स भारत सर्वभारतीय स्तर रे हम देखिबा 50टा यूनिवर्सिटी रे से बोर्ड ऑफ मेंबर्स अछंती। फॉरेन विजिट से 13टा कंट्री एकेडमिक वर्क हिसाब रे 13टा कंट्री से जाइकरी पेपर प्रेजेंट करिसंती किंबा पेपर रिलेटेड एकेडमिक वर्क रे से जाई सारिसंती लाइक यूके यूएसए इटली जापान देश गुड़ाक एपरी जड़े महानुभव जड़े विशिष्ट शिक्षाविद को आम आज पाइचु आम से निजक कृतज्ञ स्वामी विवेकानंद लोक संसद कृतज्ञता जनाऊँगी आम गहन आज अच्छा आम एनईपी 2020 ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव रिफॉर्म्स इन स्कूल एंड हायर एजुकेशन विषय आम शुणा मुझे अनुरोध रखी प्रोफेसर भुजेंद्रनाथ पंडा महोदय को से वक्तव्य आरंभ करेंगे। प्रोफेसर भुजेंद्रनाथ पंडा, समस्त को नमस्कार।
Thank you very much. Namaskar to one and all. Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad, Moga Education Council, all the respected members, organizing secretary, moderator sir, and all other participants. I think from outside Odisha, some of them, they have already joined. So sometimes I have to speak in English because many friends, they might not have known about that means acquaintance with the language of ours. Anyway, so I am very much grateful and thankful to all of you, those who are here to listen what NEP 2020 and what is the transformations suggested in that document. Really, just I have to say that 6 years is going to be completed. That means 29th July 2020, this Union Cabinet, the NEP 2020 document was approved. So nearly, we can say that now it is 2026 July. This is also July month, and only 24 days is lack to complete 6 years. Anyway, so when we talk about this education policy, it is really a good document. And I can say that in this document, it has been prepared in so meticulously, which will be helpful to bring transformations, not only school education, but also in teacher education as well as higher educations. And if I have to say, because 45 minutes I have been asked to, because it requires more time, but anyway, 45 minutes I'll speak. So dear friends, this policy is based on 5 pillars. It is not a new document. It is already 5 years already over. Many conversations and discussions, forum and seminar as well as conference have already been organized. And you might have also organized on this particular topic 2-3 times. Anyway, so what I want to say before saying about the school transformative process as well as teacher education as well as higher educations, it is based on 5 important pillars. And these pillars must be understood each and every members of our society. So the 5 pillars, I can say that the first pillar is access, which was not possible in our own, that means country, to provide education to all. Even though we have already started DPEP program, district primary education program, Sarvashika SSA, Sarvashika Abhijan, RMS Rashtriya Madhyamika Shikha Abhijan, Uchatar Shikha Abhijan. So many National Knowledge Commission, RT Act 2009. So many policies, many documents, they have given emphasis that all of our children, those who are eligible to get education, all should get. But fortunately or unfortunately, we could not able to have it. So that is why in this policy, much more emphasis has been given that access to all learners have access to quality education, irrespective of geography or socioeconomic conditions or caste, creed, color, sex, and religion. What I want to say is that all the learners, that means quality education, because all of us, we know that when that is midday meal scheme was introduced, only one thing, that particular point of time, that how the children, they have to come to the school. Only enrollment was the emphasis. Subsequently, it was decided not only enrollment, retention. Students are not to come only to the school, have meal and go away. They have to stay also. Retention has to be looked into that. Subsequently, it was added. So when it was introduced midday meal skill, that is only for enrollment. Subsequently, it was for, that means retention. Then we thought that, or many philosophers and educationists and policymakers, they thought that no, coming and staying is not sufficient. Let us give education to them, achievement. So enrollment, we can say that, then retention, then achievement. That was not sufficient, because that is why our children, those who are getting education from our own system all over the country, they are not competent enough, because education of that and education in the present circumstances, that is why they thought that the quality word is to be added. So enrollment, retentions, and education achievement and quality achievement. That is why access here in this pillar, it has been indicated very carefully. All learners have access to quality education, irrespective of anything. That is the most important pillars of this policy. The second pillar, many persons, they have confusions. I have already seen when I conduct interview in many important places, I asked one question: what is the difference between equity and equality? But I could find out lot of grumbling. They could not able to understand very clearly. But in this policy, the second pillar is equity. So equity means that fairness, and the equality means sameness. You see the difference. Equity, and the word equality is not here, but I'm just planning to make a comparison between equity and equality. So equality here, if I have to say equality, treating every person or individual with exact same resources, same matter. So for example, all the children of our country, they are getting same textbook. That is equality. When we provide same thing, exact thing to everyone, that is equality. But equity is different, because many of the friends, when they come to the school, having a lot of difference. When I was saying about access, there is a lot of difference. Difference in the sense means that Swami is poor, Swami is rich, Swami is coming from rural background, Swami is coming from urban background, Swami is coming without meals. So many varieties of learners, they come to the school. So in that context, I can say that every learners receive the support and opportunities needed as per their requirement. That is equity. So equality and equality providing everything same, but fairness, because in the class, that is why many schemes have been introduced. Somebody needs dress, somebody needs a cycle, somebody needs, so many schemes. So you might have seen that. So fairness, that means we can say that opportunities needed to succeed according to their needs and circumstances. That means providing special attention to succeed. Some they need, some poor students, they need some assistance separately. That is why equity, the second pillar is equity. We must have to give emphasis on that. That is why it is little bit different from others. So access is one parameter or one pillar. Second pillar is equity, that we have to treat the learners as per the need and specific requirement. And equality, that means all will be treated fair, that means same in the educational institution, irrespective of anything. So that is the basic pillar, second, which is indicated very, very importantly in the document. And we must have to understand very clearly difference between equity and equality. The third pillar is quality. So quality does not mean that providing pants, shirt, table, chair, and the desktop and the laptop or computer or all facilities. No, providing high quality education, which will develop knowledge, skills, competency, critical thinking, creativity, problem solving ability. That is the quality education. Because in 21st century, we need to develop the quality among the learners. Every learners have to understand educations and skills which will be helpful to them to succeed in the life, to compete in the global market. Because in the global situations, if I have to say, I visited many educational institutions, important educational institutions all over the world. I could see that the transformation and the way of talking, the way of action, the way of activities, that is why we have to provide We have to change the curricular patterns in the existing situation, in the educational, the school sector, as well as we can say the higher education sector. So that is why quality education. We have to develop critical thinking ability. We have to develop problem solving ability. The 21st century. We have to develop how to communicate others, how to manage yourself, soft skills and different type of skills and competency. We have to change. So that is why the third pillar, we have to assure and ensure that every learner, they have to get quality education. And that education which will be helpful for developing creativity, critical thinking, and we can say that different type of thinking required to become a successful person in the future. So, and how to meet the global standard. So that is to be seen in our educational curriculum. So that is why many organizations, specifically our organization NCERT, was given the responsibility to develop curricular framework for the nation. And 2023, it has been developed for school educations, and 2022, it has been developed for foundation stage and teacher educations, how to improve the teacher education, because teachers are the most important, that means persons to look after the learners' effectiveness. That is why we have to develop teacher education and teacher and school and learner and higher education and research. All the things have to be mingled together to achieve quality among the individuals. So we need a quality human beings, not to secure 100 out of 100 and not having any basic values which is required to govern themselves in the society effectively. We know that many things are happening which are really unfortunate, which is educated mass become the blind sometimes. But we are not providing quality education. We are not preparing them as skillful persons. That is why many reforms and transformations has been suggested in this document. So that is the third pillar, that quality education. And the fourth one is affordability. Affordable. That means we can say that making education accessible to all at the reasonable cost. In our country, many private organizations, many, that means money-making factories are there. Many people, they're interested to do business, education as a business to earn money. But that should not. People are doing it for what we can do. But anyhow, so to support the commercializations and difficulties, so many plan and many rules and regulations they have formulated after the introduction to this 2020, that is the national education policy. Many reforms are coming because it cannot be completed within a day or within 5 years. Long term required, because human beings, to change the quality of a human life, it is not easy task. It is all within the individual framework. How I'm looking, how I'm thinking, how to change my attitude. So that is why, so affordability, affordable. At minimum cost, education should be given. Even government of Odisha has declared before 2 days that from KG to PG, all will be getting free education. Good things. We were having, when we were students, so we were getting some benefit, some scholarship, and some different type of things. So that is why every learners, because of finance, they are not able to get education. So as far as possible, we should look into that. That is why, but it will take some time, because many technical organizations, even IITs, I have seen it in IIT Bhubaneswar. Many, not only IIT, NIT, or Central University, State University, or even private organizations, private universities, all these things are, that means some way or other responsible for giving quality education with a reasonable cost. We should not charge capitation. Some people are, some way or the other, they're exploiting commercialization. So this policy hopefully planning to call commercializations, because reasonable cost, as minimum cost we should provide. Today I was listening a broadcast. A tribal girl got admitted into, that is the medical education first year. What type of difficulties she was facing, she was just explaining in the podcast. It was a horrible experience. So because we are exploiting, their family members are exploited by the money lenders. Whatever money they are taking to give education, because and they are going away, that means a good thief pratha. Many persons, they are intentionally creating confusion and creating all type of negative thoughts among the persons, because we are all human beings. If we cut our hands, blood will come, and similar type of blood will come from every human being. But unfortunately, lot of things are happening. But anyway, so the fourth pillar, affordability, we have to see that reasonable cost as far as possible, whether pre-technical education or medical education or engineering education or professional education or general education or legal education, everywhere we must have to provide free. That is my conviction. I don't know whether government is thinking only for general education or all this professional technical education. Anyhow, what I want to say is that, so that means affordability must be ensured. That is the vision of this policy. I don't know whether it is possible or not possible, but this has been suggested with all conviction and with all commitment. And second, last pillar, we can accountability. Ensuring transparency, you see this word, ensuring transparency, responsibility, and effectiveness among educational institutions, teachers, and administrators and policymakers. Ensuring transparency. But if you have to open every news channel, every daily newspaper, many of the corrupt officials, we are able to see how much money they have hoarded, how much land they have grabbed. That means it cannot be explained. Shameless people. Some people are shameless. And when they are going to end their career, they have been, that means now in the behind the bar. You see what type of person, how they will say their face, I don't know. But many persons are doing like that. Educated mass, not only educated mass, in the teaching profession, in legal professions, or medical professions, or technical profession, or general education, or policy makers, even administrators, teachers, they are also not free from all these, that means, activities. Shameless peoples. Because if God has given us, that means, all this quality. But we are so shameless. So accountability, if I have been appointed as a teacher, I have to perform my duty without having any, that means, things. So, but unfortunately, people are doing all type of corruption and commercializations at all levels, and only see that I am innocent and in front of others. So behavior is different, internal feeling is totally different. So their attitude, their thinking is totally different. So we cannot prepare a good human beings. We need good human beings for the national development. We need a persons who has ability and capabilities and ideas to nurture for the development of the society and nation. But these people are, that means that means rogue, I can say, they're diseased persons of the society. Anyhow, access, equity, quality, and affordability and accountability, these 5 pillars, along with the different features, have been given. Every document is free to everyone. But what I want to say is that, so most important things, the core principles across school stage or teacher education or higher education, 3 important things have been suggested in this policy. That is technology integration, whether it is school stage, whether it is teacher education, whether it is higher education. It is universally, technology is to be emphasized. Overall, I am just saying about overall. That is the core principle. Technology will be integrated. Use of technology in learning, in assessment, and teaching learning activities. So that means materials development, because many of the things I can say that. So what can I say that? Many important documents, that is Diksha, Swayam Portal, E-Patsala, PM E-Vidya, these channels have developed all the materials of all the stages from the KG to PG, all materials, highly qualified persons in digital form, technology form, the materials are available. Many of us we don't know. Many of the friends they don't know. Diksha Portal, it is all available. But the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, introduced in 2017. Diksha serves a national digital infrastructure, empowering teachers and providing open educational resources like e-textbook, video lessons, assessment for students and parents. So this is also possible. So because we are saying technology integration, even we can swim, study waves for active learning for young aspiring minds. The online platform offers free certified courses from secondary to postgraduate levels among to democratize education and make quality learning accessible anytime, anywhere, any place with smartphones. That is the things. Even we can say that Swayam Prabha DTH channels further extended different type of discussions. Every day discussion is happening. 4 to 4, 35 to 5, 35, different channels are available free of cost. Every mathematics, science, social science, language, almost all the areas they are discussing. Even e-Pathshala, a joint initiative of NCERT and Ministry of Education, it provides online access to learning materials, textbook and e-resources, audio, video and journals for all these category of the learners. Prime Minister e-Vidya initiative. So we can say that digital initiative, that means technology integrations which will be helpful to get accessible to the learning materials so that it will be enriching the individual's cognitive capital, which will be helpful to become a successful human beings in the future times to come. That is one of the most important things, very across, that means we can say the sectors. Then equity and inclusion, that is also across the, that means section. So equity, that means special focus on disadvantaged group, including gender and socio-economically disadvantaged learners. Every learner, previously what we were doing, segregation. If a child having some difficulties, physical difficulties or emotional difficulties or intellectual impairment, so we are sending them to separate schools. So that we were just excluding them from the normal educational institution. So they were treated different. Now, in this document, National Education Policy 2020, most important thing is that equity, that means fairness and inclusion, all category of the learners have to be considered equally. And equity is to provide, as for the needs, we have to provide, but they have to sit in the same, that means learning institution and place where general students are studying. That is irrespective of across the section. That is the most fundamental principles have been given. Learning and culture, language and culture, promotions of Indian languages or culture within the curriculum. That means Indian ethos, lot of good, that means our own traditional values, culture, even agriculture, even our health sector, almost all the sectors, that Indian ethos is to be promoted because India wants to become a Vishwa Guru. So that is why Indian culture and language emphasis, as far as possible, children have to be taught in their own mother tongue. That is there. But many parents are objecting. I have discussed with some of the parents, because when we adopted a block for undertaking research activities consecutively for 3 years, when we are discussing with the parents, no, mera bacha must be learn English. Why the bacha will be taught in Odia language at the class 1, 2. But research is giving indication that at the foundational stage, up to the, because we can say that when the child is at the age of 8, capable of learning as many languages as possible. And if the children are taught, I have conducted a study on behalf of we conducted a, that means joint NCERT and UNESCO, that multilingual education. We conducted a study, 10 districts of Odisha we conducted, and different schools we took, tribal schools, non-tribal schools, different. We saw that when the child is taught in their own mother tongue, at least at the grassroots level, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are par with anyone. We cannot neglect them. But fortunately, we are unfortunate. We are compulsorily asking that students have to be taught in only one language. But here, that means freedom is given as far as possible. So language is the cornerstone for development. Every learner, if they have to be equipped with their ideas in their own, because Chinese, they are taught, Japanese, they taught, Russians, they have been taught in their own mother tongue at higher level. So they can able to talk. Translator. Whenever our honorable Prime Minister or honorable President or any good persons are going to different country to have a discussion, interpreter is there. They are talking their own language, we are talking our own language. So language should not be any bar. But anyhow, at the foundational stage or preparatory stage, if the children, they have to be taught in the mother tongue about the things which is prescribed to learn, then hopefully their performance will be better. They will be understanding will be developed, because we are saying conceptual understanding, artificial intelligence. We are saying nowadays everybody must have to know about that conceptual understanding. So dear friends, what I want to say that this national education policy, we can say that giving this particular ideas for betterment, not a deterioration. Many people are finding the fault of the policy. Oh, this is not there, that is not there, this facility is not provided, that is all right. Because suppose building is not available for time being, no matter. If a good teacher is there, everything can. But we are unable to provide in the pretext and context. Even that means when Operation Blackboard scheme was introduced in 1990, that particular point of time, every primary schools will have 2 rooms, a big veranda, and 2 teachers. And out of the 2, 1 will be female teacher. 1990. Now you see 26 plus 36. We cannot able to provide 2 rooms, big veranda, and 2 teachers. This is the lacuna. This is the political will. They don't need to do this thing. Education sector, they are just thinking that everything. The policy makers, the IS officers, and the politicians. Wherever, why the school is not having established? 1986, it was decided, Operation Blackboard. Every school, at least 2 veranda, a big veranda, 2 rooms, and 2 teachers. Why there is a 7% schools are in 1 teacher? Why it is happening? Who are responsible? Even we have introduced to Operation Black, that is Operation Blackboard scheme, DPP, RMS, everything. Pen and paper, everything is going on. In political people, when they are going to their own area where they are becoming the MLA or MP, in that area, people are not having the schools and having no veranda, no. Who can able to see? These are all, that means very negative thoughts. This is how we have not changed. We need our own personal gain. We don't need that other person should get education. That is why I want to say that when 2 rooms, it was decided 36 years ago, every schools in the country will have. Unfortunately, we have 7% schools of the whole country is having single teacher. They don't have 1 room. Data is saying, research data. And in Odisha also like that. You and all of us, those who are listening and those who are organizing this, that is Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad, take a particular village, take 1 block, take 1 gram panchayat, see that how many schools and what is available. I can't. That means that also one person is belong to that MLA is also belong to that particular locality. They cannot able to see. They don't have vision. They don't have ideas. But unfortunately, they are not looking into the things more seriously. So, dear friends, what I want to say is that. So that is the basic things irrespective of anything in this policy. When we talk about school education, many reformations, many transformations they have already suggested. Pedagogical structure changes. Okay, no matter. We must accept it 5 plus 3 plus 3. 10 plus 2, 3. They have changed it. No matter. We have to accept it. Because research is saying that we have to give much more emphasis on FLN. Because foundational, that means learning. Foundational stage. That means first 8 years of the child's age, from 3 to 8, that 5 years, foundation stage has to be given lot of emphasis. Because 80% of brain development happen that particular point of time, and many languages can be known that way. That is why we have seen in our own regional institute one, that means a foundation. We were having only first year 1 kg, then we converted to 2 years, kg1, kg2. Now we are adding another year, Balbhatika. So 3 years before coming to the class 1. So this foundation stage, they must have to touch, because we have seen it. But we compel to learn in our own, that means instead of mother tongue, by other tongue. Even if it is regional language, many young child, when they are at the age of 3, coming from a particular family, having one particular type of language, we are unable to provide them. even though we are saying, but that must be looked into very seriously. All these persons are responsible. You are responsible, I am responsible, and policymakers and politicians and those who are governing this educational structure in the society, they have to have a vision. Khali Baitkar in the SC room talking something and not implementing in the grassroots level, it will not work. बड़ा बात करने से कुछ नहीं होता है, because we are unable to provide 2 teachers, 2 room and a big veranda at the present moment, 2026. So anyway, what I want to say is that, so the structure has been changed. We have to accept it, and we have to give adequate emphasis that first phase, that is foundation stage. How the learner, because a learner is coming to the educational institution, and learner must be equipped with all qualities so that gradually he will become a good human being when he will become adult. Because foundation stage, if building construction is not good, building will be weak. That is everywhere. Mera ghar, if I have to prepare my own room and residence, so I have to prepare foundation very strong, so that first floor or second floor or ground floor, everything will be all right. So we are making the foundation very weak. We have not given adequate emphasis. Our education is not topmost priority, which should be topmost priority because national development. Nation depends upon that. So dear friends, so structural acceptance we have to accept and provide very, very, that means mother tongue based education at this particular stage, so that foundation will be strong. When foundation will be strong, other things will be looked automatically after graduation, gradually. So that is one of the, that means thinking, or that is one of the suggestions given in this document. Even we can say that, even I don't want to say very one by line, because many things have. So assessment practices, you just see, because always you might have seen that textbook in Odisha, 1600 odd number of mistakes from class 1 to class 8 textbook. Now they have uploaded class 1, 2, 3, 4. Why there will be? There are different committees. How can it be so wrong? There is a textbook writing committee, there is a review committee, there is another committee looking after the, that means final review before printing. How can it be so casual? Who are responsible? The casual, this person. And many, I know that the persons, those who have involved in the writing, they are not qualified to write the materials. Trump hoga Odisha ka prime minister, let them. Who is responsible? How much quality they have? They don't have taken the correct persons. I have seen those who have involved. I don't want to name it because this is not a forum to inform. So dear friends, what I want to say is that quality textbook, writing of the textbook, correct materials, we are unable to provide. Isko chala do. The correction materials they are providing. Who are responsible? Why are not taking immediate action? Suspending 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and giving so-called notice 5-6% in earth. Who has written? Find out who has written this thing. They give them instant punishment, not nothing doing, no law. You have written this textbook, you have given wrong thing. Let us have a very, very strict action. Then only people will look into the right things. But it is not happening. So that, dear friends, what I want to say is that, so neither the medium of instruction is used properly, nor the textbook materials is correct, nor the, that means we can emphasis on conceptual understanding, developing conceptual understanding, not we are providing adequate, that means pedagogical things, that how a teacher is to teach to the students, that the pedagogy, how to teach to the students, so that students has to participate in the learning. If that is not there, no learning can take place properly. Because if I will give you in the class textbook materials, the teacher is to speak without involvement of the students, learning is not going to happen properly. That has been happened since long back. So where the students are involved, I have seen when the students are involved, they do that, what they are saying, experiential learning is to be used in the educational institution, whether the school or higher education. Every learner has to participate. Every learner has to collect information. Every learner has to share among themselves. I have seen it, a simple example. When the small child comes to the school for the first time, father and mother, they give a big, that means a box full of food. But first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, 10th day, they don't share. Gradually, when they become mixing each other, they will share the tiffin among themselves. So that feelings. So similarly, in the because teacher and student and curriculum, the relationship is just like that means a sapling and gardener. If I don't want to take care of the sapling as a gardener, my sapling will not grow properly. There will be difficulties. Similarly, the sapling, just like the learner are the sapling and gardeners, teachers are the gardener. So if the teacher gardener is not taking care of the sapling properly, how can the sapling will grow? We have to be very honest. Teaching profession, noble profession. The word noble, no hierarchy is used, only in the teaching profession, the noble one. But we don't understand it properly. Teachers are also sometimes careless. Some teachers, they are undeserving, they have entered political involvement or selection process is wrong everywhere. So who is to do what? Is it really shameless creatures? Some of them are coming to the teaching profession. They're spoiling. In one person entering to the teaching profession or any profession, wrong person, wrong thing will happen. They will adopt wrong things because their bent of mind is not correct. The beginning part is not correct. How can they ensure correct things among the learner? So that is why what I want to say is that, so sometimes the assessment practices and curriculum, because assessment practices, we are saying wrong things. Many training programs have been organized. Years to years, many programs are happening, but teachers are doing same thing. A question de do, bas jao. Who is going to involve seriously? Many of the friends, they are not serious enough to involve themselves in the process. That means involving that assessment for learning and assessment as learning is not taken care of seriously. Only assessment of learning is taken care at the end of the session. Kuch de do question, memory level questions, but that is not why. That is why we are lacking behind. Those who are able to understand competency development, they are performing well. 1-2% is not sufficient enough. We want 98% of the learners, they must be competent and they must be resourceful. They must be very, very problem solvers of our own nation. But unfortunately, only 1-2% are happening because they haven't guided properly either their parents or some other situation. So that is why assessment techniques have been changed. They're suggesting lot of things. They have suggested 360-degree assessment every day. Every learner they have to. I have seen it in Delhi, one of the international schools, 360-degree assessment, how they are doing.
Good evening,
Everything
sir.
they are writing. So, dear friends, that is why I want to say that is not taken very seriously. Multidisciplinary approach we are saying. Many persons are having many confusion. Multidisciplinary.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Let Professor finish his presentation, and after that we can take up questions. Please have patience.
Okay, no issue. Because, okay. So I'll stop it in 2 minutes.
So within no time you have to finish.
Okay, no issue. I am just completing it.
Okay,
No
okay,
issue.
sir.
Because this is a forum to discuss. If so time limit, you are having only the maintaining some schedule and time limit, it is not good. That is my observation. You take it, please don't take it otherwise. Anyway,
Okay.
so we have also decided that research, multidisciplinary institution, vocational educations, and changing the total structural approach in higher education, only one governing body all over the country. So research incentive universities. So like that, teacher development, only ITEP program will be there at the end of 2030. Teachers will be there. Only those who will be coming out from ITEP, Integrated Teacher Education Program. Then only, if good teachers, if they're coming to the system, then we can say that learning definitely is going to be better. Because good always, because you have already, that means Swami Vivekananda's, that means quotations you have written in that brochure. So, manifest perfections in man only possible if good persons is involved in the educational institution. Anyway, so lot of changes have been taken place. So we have to be very, that means careful if we want to involve and change and bring improvement in the educational sector, whether it is school or higher education. So definitely it is going to be a, that means even they have suggested ABC, Academic Bank of Credit. Even we can say that anytime one person can come and live and attend Academic Bank of Credit, multidisciplinary institution, emphasis on open and distance learning, those who are unable to do. So all the things have been suggested carefully. Hopefully, all these things have to be looked into very seriously by all of us, whether it's parents or teachers or students or policymakers or politicians or anyone. Then only we can able to see the visibility of the implementations of national education policy in true sense of the term. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity to say my ideas within this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your insightful presentation. I hope this has appealed to the most of the participants because they were raising hands while your talk was going on, and to me also, the way you presented, especially the philosophical part and its the 5 pillars and the challenges and the kind of requirements we need at this juncture were really praiseworthy, and I hope this will engage all of us in churning and nurturing new ideas and new development. So let us pick up few questions from the participants. I would like to request the participant to unmute one by one and question Professor Panda.
Good evening, Professor, and to all of you. And thanks, Professor, for your great speech. Sir, arise and point that the commercial of education. Sir, are you hearing me, sir?
I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And just I wanted to know, sir, from the commercial point, there is a demand and supply. If it is being commercial, then there is a demand. If anyone wanted to make this education system commercial, means there is a demand, number one. Number two, and this courage may be a little being distract because parallelly there is education system going on. This is coaching. And when going to the tech subjects like physics and mathematics, and in the JEE and NEET level questions, when we are solving this, the existing professors, basically I'm telling about physics and mathematics, the tech subjects, they are not that much competent to solve all those JEE and NEET level questions, which is little bit tricky and conceptual. Parallelly, the coaching centers are hiring many ISRO scientists, engineers to solve those out. Sir, my appeal and my query is that right now the professors or the teachers or the lecturers are existing in the government colleges or private colleges. Why they are not that much competent to solve all the JEE and NEET level problems? Basically, I'm telling about physics and mathematics, the tech subject, not chemistry and biology, because it is and what is the lacuna? And either selection procedure to the tech subject teachers may be corrected or may be reviewed.
I can say that the teachers, those who are entering into the system, specifically what you say about the physics and mathematics, some of them they are not competent. That is also 100% true.
Not, sir, I'm not telling some of them, maximum 90%, because if you say the coaching center and the maximum physics teachers are engineers, basically. And,
I'm not, no, sir, that is all right. Sir. Coaching center, who are the persons going? Some individuals are going. So in that textbook coaching is coming.
Parallel economy, sir. It is an 148,000. It is an industry coaching center. We can't take very lightly that coaching
center. Not necessarily. That is why Government of India is thinking to change the patterns of syllabus. The pattern of syllabus which is prepared, it is just remembering and reproducing type. Remember
Correct.
and reproduce. Examination pass, only pass in the examination. That is
Correct, sir.
why in the present policy, they are thinking problem solving ability, critical thinking ability,
Sir,
and
why it is
creativity.
happening? Why other subjects are okay? Political science,
No,
sociology,
no.
chemistry,
In
biology,
all
it is okay.
subjects. Why?
But no, all subjects are okay. There is no problems when you are teaching in the coaching center. A commerce teacher is there or economic teacher is there. It is okay. The same teacher is teaching in the colleges or schools and coaching center.
Okay,
Same
sir.
teacher.
Now,
But when
now
we are going to these particular two subjects, but teacher is quite different. These teacher
no,
are
no,
not.
sir. Listen, sir. Listen.
Sir,
Let
sir.
me answer you. NCERT has developed problem-solving questions which is generally come into the NET level. So it has not been popularized by the educational institution. It is a state subject. Oh, NCERT has published, let them publish. It may go to some of the central schools. State is not listening. So many public different type of questions from the same content, various type of, that means questions patterns have already been developed in every subject. Physics or mathematics or social science, language, every subject. That is not problem number one. Number two, we have to, those who are teaching there, you say 10 years of questions pattern you see in the, that is in the coaching center. The 7th year question is coming in this year. So same questions can be discussed in the educational institution. So we have not, our friends are not serious enough in in physics or math, any teacher, if they will not serious enough. Because if the student is going to coaching center, some teachers are teaching and discussing this similar type of question. Why can't this thing, same thing can be discussed in the general classroom? Who is the obstacles for that? The coaching center mafias, they are responsible. You call money making industry, that is a money making industry. What is happening in industry? How much tense the students are there, unless you have to go and see, it is difficult.
Means in other way around, we can say them mafia as well as not, because they are the demand.
Money making industry. They are all money making. How much? You just see what happened just now in the Lucknow. What happened just now in Lucknow?
सर हम लोग अगर जा रहे हैं तो वो
that is individual choice. Sir, that is, we have to see the commonness. Your 90% friends or students are coming from different background. They don't
Excuse
have
me.
So
I think we should also give space to some other questions. Okay. Not to
2-3% persons, we
Yeah,
don't bother about that. We need to see the all persons how to get similar type of education in the general education scenario. That is, we have to see that. Those who are money, they are going and doing it. Okay, that is all right. But we have to see seriously. We have to see, look after every individual of our own society. Not
Thank
1
you,
or
sir.
2% those who are having money and they can go and do everything. That is not the point. So we have to change our.
Thank you, Suresh sir, for your question, critical question and critical answer. I hope you are satisfied with Professor Panda's answers. Now, I would like to request other participant to raise questions.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
thank
sir,
you,
I am-
Professor. Yeah, please do.
You just introduce yourself and
Sir, I'm Professor Raut, sir. I am also retired teacher, sir. I am extremely overwhelmed of your discussion and discourse. Really, you have a vast teaching experience as well. I came to know that your thought expression is really praiseworthy because you spoke in both sides. Because sometimes we think to ask a question where you have answered it. Because earlier, when you started the documents and discussed it, and everything you opened it, and you also at the same time you also find out where the wrong is there. No doubt the document is an excellent, and it is a new education policy working well throughout the country. But still, little questions are also left out, which we, the educationists, have to question and have to think the answer. Jaise, sir, you just raised a question when we people were assigned to print a book, and it is for primary level from class 1 to 8, and we find mistakes are there, not one, innumerable 1,800 mistakes are. So you also raised the right point that who were the people they did. It is the education department who appointed. So question arises, here OTT we are conducting, teachers are not competent, that also we are admitting. The only one question I will answer is, sir, quality is there and quality will come. But the people, those who are in class 1 to 8 or 12 or up to higher education, these people are, they are claiming that we are not sufficient. One question and answer has come. These people, they answer, these people are overburdened and they were assigned more work where, because you see in the school level in Odisha I am asking, so from 1,45,000 teachers are required to educate the class 1 to class 10, and there are only 50,000 teachers are there. 1 lakh teachers are again also are lacking. So when these people are, and no education minister, even our education minister is a central education and a state government, they never think of. Then the teachers are telling, when I have to do multiple jobs in a one school, you raise the same question also. Because in a one school, yes, in those days it was there. But how these people will take care of? What is the answer to it, sir? Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Sir, point I'm saying is that there should be attitudinal changes required at every level. Even if only 1 or 2 teachers are there and 1 lakh teachers are vacant from, that means level 1 to level 8, that means we can say that up to elementary stage. Government is not able to see that. Government has to see, look into that. What they are doing, honestly, I'm speaking, it may be wrong. What they're saying that, okay, political mileage 5 years, 15,000, this year, that means appointment karna hai, till we have the next election. So this is the attitudinal problems with the politicians. This is the attitudinal problems with the, we can say that those who are sitting in the helm of the affairs to look after. They know that 1 lakh vacancies there. They know that teachers have to be appointed. So the political persons are not like that, what we are thinking here in this forum. These peoples are having their own game and activities.
Exactly,
Even if they know
Thank
1
you,
lakh
sir.
vacancies, they will be publishing 15,000. Everywhere, not only primary, in higher education sector is also like that. There are n number of vacancies are there in higher education, but they are also saying the election is coming. 1/3, 1/4 only publish karna hai. Next year 1/4, next year 1.
Correct.
They say vacancy will be there 1 lakh. That is the problem, sir. Attitudinal. Who is to make build the cat?
Thank you, sir, for your courageous answer.
So that is the thing that is happening. People
Excellent.
should
Thank you, sir.
change their own attitude and perception, then everything can be possible.
Exactly. Thank you, sir.
Request other participant to make question in specific term. Only in specific term, we have limited times. So please, next participant, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Professor Punda, for your illuminating explanation. You rightly pointed out that so many initiatives are there, and NEP is appreciated for its approach. We have taken digital initiatives like Diksha, Swayam, PME, Vidya, all these things. You are also concerned about the preparedness, the financial constraints, all are there. We are not recruiting teachers. Infrastructure gaps are there. Institutions are not ready. So many things are happening, and we in higher education are witnessing all these things. That's there. But one particular question that what should be the role of civil society in, from demand side as well as from supply side? What should be the role?
Because, say for example, I'll give my own village example. Okay, or I get 2 examples I'll give. One school is running 365 days. We have conducted a research, and I'll give my own village example, the schools where it is running. It was from class 1 to class 8, civil society, because in that village we are having 400 to 500 around peoples, engineer, doctor, teacher, policymaker, politician, so everything, all peoples are there. So there is no coherence, sir. There is no relationship. There is no sitting at all. That amicable, mutual, exclusive relationship is not happening. That is the biggest problem of civil society. If I have to go and do something, if I have to go and do something in my own village as a teacher, I have gave some money to my school, but appreciation is not there. He has got money, so he has given. So that everything, that is coherence, relationship in the society, it has been little bit depart from one to another, sir. So we have to maintain a cohesive relationship in the civil society. If I have time, I can contribute, I can go and teach. Because there is no only academic activities, mathematics or science. Yeah, I am a flower person, I can give how the flowers can be taken care. I am an artisan, I can go and be. I am an agriculturist, I can go and discuss in a class situation. Gradually, unfolding the mental situations of the learner from very beginning. So that is why we are not doing it very 10%, 15% of village, they can sit and discuss how to improve the school. It is possible to improve, sir. Unless, because when I have seen, when I was a student in my village school, my teacher was coming evening to taught us 7-8% every day. That village, one teacher was coming running. So how much respect, the value system has been eroded. We don't have cohesive relationship in the civil society. So we have to meet and discuss and ventilate our own ideas for common good, development of the schools and development of the learners of our own village. If that will be thinking, at least common thinking, hopefully, no guarantee. That is why in the national education policy, they have said one particular word, that school community relationship in one sense. In village, one school will be hub school, and if mathematics teacher is somewhere within 5 years of radius, so that person will be going and teaching in that school. So if a science teacher is absent, one spare, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spare teacher always will be there. They can meet and go and discuss. But that is very limited in scope. But anyhow, the civil society has greater role. They can meet and discuss and try to bring as far as possible a overall holistic development among the learners. That is possible, sir. And we have to, that is every village, they have to have a cohesive relation. So Bhagavat Tungi Agru Thila, that is all right. Now we are not having segregation. Many of the educated mass, they are coming and settled in some other place. Very rarest of the rare, they are going to the village. So anyhow, so those who are settling, those who are staying there after retirement or before retirement or educated or uneducated, if there is a commonness, hopefully, at least better than nothing,
Thank you,
we
sir.
can bring something better to the educational
Something
system.
can be done. Civil society has its own issues, so it has to settle and present itself to facilitate the process. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Panda, sir. To the questions of Chitta, sir, you answered very pertinently, where the cohesive relationship in society is required. Now, I would like to request other participants who can question, who have any questions, please be specific.
If sir no one is there, I can ask another question, very specific question, sir. So it is all over India. People only criticize that this education policy has never been placed in Parliament. Though, as you told on 29th July in 2019, it was approved by the cabinet. Why it was so? Because 1986, Rajiv Gandhi, when he was the Prime Minister, that education policy was approved and discussed in Parliament. Some more light can be also come for betterment. Why not, sir?
That is true, sir. I 100% agree. It was not placed in the whole parliament. It was just cabinet approved, 29th July, cabinet approved. They thought that we are majority and we can do it. That is the biggest, that means negative thinking, that particular point of time, I can say. So it could have been placed, it could have been discussed. But
it could have been placed. Thank you, sir.
But only one thing I can say. Before preparations of this national education policy, previously a draft policy, and more than 100 places all over the country, because since I was in NCRT, we have visited more than 50 places for taking opinion, ideas, views. It was also placed in the digital form
website,
and discussed many places, east, west, north, south, central. 100 seminars have been conducted all over the country. So everybody aware about that. They thought that this is a document, public document, which has been developed through public and collected more than 5 lakhs suggestions from all over
Yes.
the country, and looking into that, hopefully that is why they approved it, and they thought that it is not better to use it in the parliament, because it is people's document. It has been come from the people's civil society, parents, teachers, students, policymakers,
Yes.
guardians.
Everybody suggested.
So like that, sir, that is why they might have thought that.
Fine,
And because
fine.
that is the document prepared accordingly. Previous 1986 document was not prepared like that. It was a public document discussed thoroughly at the
Exactly.
grassroots level, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So nice of you.
I just beg 30 seconds to add some observation that NEP, I think, is a policy document which doesn't need any, act of parliament. So that it was not mandated to be debated in the parliament. Policies are normally not debated. So that is one thing. And as Professor Panda told that it has been widely consulted, over 5 lakh. And I'm happy to share that our SPLS, Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad, had also sent a delegation. At that time, Prakash Javadekar was the education minister. So we also sent a representative, two representatives to meet with him, and we shared our viewpoints. So it was widely, consulted. It is not that it is not debated. It may not be debated in the parliament. It was not required,
No,
but
no, it was consulted,
wider
debated.
consultation was done. For that,
100
it is
places.
not to be blamed.
100
It's not to
seminars.
be blamed. Exactly. It's a
These
well
100
thought out
places we have
strategy.
conducted
It was
seminars.
not done in haste. It was well thorough,
Yes. Yes, yes.
deliberated.
Before preparing 2020, that means 15, 16 onwards, 5 years, another committee was constituted, and they gave the draft report. Then finally, it was 100 seminars and discussions all over the country, different from the lowest to the highest levels, central places, central university, IIT, state university, local civil society, even different forums. So it was taken, what you have said, sir, it has been taken widely consulted before preparation these 2020 documents. It is good documents. We have to implement it at least. But if we have to change our attitude, everything can be possible. Your attitude, one word, attitude, it is 100%. A is equal to 1, attitude you will count is only 100. Nothing is coming in 100. So change our attitude, everything can be possible. Hopefully, people should change their attitude.
We have to wind up, Professor Verma. Yeah.
Sir, okay. Let me recapitulate the things presented by Professor Panda in my concluding remarks. So NEP 2020, transformative reforms in school and higher educations. This was presented in today's seminar. And as we know, it has completed 6 years of its entry, and overall presentation, which constitutes both precept and practice part, that affects more than 15 lakh schools and 28 crore students throughout India. So as it is presented after that 1986 education, it is more holistic, it is multidisciplinary, it is all inclusive, flexible, and also aligned with the 21st century needs. So very well presented by Professor Pandashar. I think he was having more and more which he wanted to discuss here, but because of the constraints of time, he could not, what I felt. So very well presented, and especially the 5 pillars of this NEP 2020, and the key features, and very well explained, that is equity and equality, and the challenges one by one, and also the mistakes committed by the syllabus committee made in the textbook, around 1700, and he also requested the Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad to think over the shortages in one teacher's school, where Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad can take initiative uh, and extend cooperation to the Department of Mass Educations. Definitely, sir, we will consider in our meeting, we will vividly discuss these aspects which you proposed, and it is a very constructive things, because we have seen in Balangir district, Professor Madhusudan Pati sir, after his retirement in Balangir district, he is campaigning to strengthen primary education by moving individual school to individual schools. And he was asking us to do the similar kind of things in our districts. So definitely we have a space, and we can, as a civil society member, play a larger role, as somebody raised these questions. So very well illuminated and well conveyed, and to be frank, it is a very broad topic. The day I saw this one, the transformative reforms in schools and higher education, actually this should have been divided into 2 or 3 parts, so that Professor Panda could have covered all that. So in future, we shall try again and try to have Panda sir again in this forum for further discussions. So thank you very much, Panda sir. And I now request Professor Chandrasekhar Chandrakar sir, the Secretary of Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad of our Vichar Dhara, to extend a vote of thanks. Professor Chandrakar sir.
Good evening to you all present in this program. On behalf of Moga Sikkha Parishad, the webinar organized today was on NEP 2020. The theme was Transformative Reforms in Schools and College Education. So, first of all, I would like to thank Professor Bhujendranath Panda for his insightful discussion on this topic. He elaborately discussed the core principles of NEP 2020. Professor Panda told that the entire new education policy stands upon 5 pillars: access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. If these 5 pillars are implemented wholeheartedly, then definitely there will be an improvement in quality of education. He also told that education system should be inclusive and technology should be integrated into our education system. And Professor Panda also elaborated on uh, the promotion of Indian languages, how NEP is giving emphasis on imparting education in mother tongue. And finally, he concluded that success of new education policy depends upon positive mindset and change of attitude. So I would like to thank Professor Panda from core of my heart on behalf of Swami Vivekananda Loka Sansad. My thanks goes to Dr. Padmalochan Verma, coordinator of Moga Sikkha Parishad, who is the moderator of this program. I would also like to thank Dr. Tarur Kumar Pradhan, who gave introduction of the speaker of this program. I would like to thank Vishwasri Tanaya for reciting Vedic mantra, and my thanks also goes to Vishweswar for Vivek Bani. And last but not least, I would like to thank all the intellectuals, all the state level officials present in this program, and I would like to thank all those intellectuals who took part in question answers discussion which made this program a vibrant one. So once again, I thank all of you for making this program a success one. Thank you all.
And thank you to Chandrasekhar Chandrakar sir for your beautiful vote of thanks. I would like to request for Shanti Pat, Vibhuti Bhushan, DC present there.